Hello, I'm Max Balegde.
And I'm George Clarke, and welcome to the Useless Hotline. TikTok wasn't working out for us, so we decided to set up our own little business.
We did, and the Useless Hotline is a place where we help you with your queries, no matter how weird, disgusting, or embarrassing they are.
But, or if you're Spanish, pero.
Oh.
It won't always just be us. Sometimes we'll be enjoyed.
Enjoyed.
We may be enjoyed by a guest, but we'll be joined by one too.
Like today, for example, because we have the one and only Madam Joyce in the studio, baby.
Woo!
But before we get into that, bitch, firstly, George, our tour has gone on sale.
It has indeed.
Woo! Yes, live studio audience going crazy.
Thanks, guys.
And we've already sold out. Where is it? Manchester, Edinburgh,
Manchester, Birmingham.
Edinburgh, Manchester, Birmingham have all sold out, and they are three of our larger venues.
Is very close.
Yes.
One Birmingham, the Bristol date is very close.
Yeah, I thought that. Is that not sold? It might not be sold out, guys. Grab your tickets.
Hey, by the time this is out, they'll all be gone.
Who knows? So so when we did our pre-sale, the people that we're doing the tour with, they were like, so many of you weirdos signed up for pre-sale and then got tickets that they actually added 2 more dates. So we've added a Belfast show at the beginning, and then we've added another London date, and the London dates are our biggest one. Yeah. And because this is now going to be at the end of the tour, we're going to do something big for it, aren't we, George?
Oh, we will probably just... We're not going to do that actually on stage.
Maybe we'll fuck on stage. Ew. We won't do that, but we're going to be doing something big for the last London show, the newly one that's been announced. So make sure you get your tickets whilst you can, baby, because they're selling out very quickly.
That's what tickets do.
I know, but I just didn't expect it.
If you like us, that's what they do.
Oh, but yeah, we're very excited. So get them now. Link in bio, everywhere else. And other than that, George, I think that Joyce has actually arrived.
Has she actually?
I think that she
has.
That's
mental and crazy.
I know. I can see it on my computer. So I'll tell our receptionist to send her in now. Oh my gosh, George. Oh, she's here. Joyce,
oh my gosh. Woo, it's Madam Joyce, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm so happy to be here. This is a cool set.
And we
Well,
are
we're
happy to have you.
be here. Oh, look at us being in sync.
Oh, okay. We tried. So, how you doing, Joyce? How's life?
Oh my God, life is... I'm already glitching. Life is crazy at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be back out. Obviously, I spent a couple of weeks in a house with no social media. So it's been about a week and a bit since I've come out, almost 2 weeks, and just being around people, being around the love, being around like TV and a phone, has been greatly missed. I'm having a really good time.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, we're going to get into all things Locked In soon. But first, I want to dive into the heart of Madam Joyce.
I want to dive into you.
I want to dive into
Steady
the legs
on, Max.
of Madam Joyce.
Wow.
Please.
In between the legs.
Please, I don't mind. It's been a minute.
So obviously, I mean, I've known you for probably over a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember where we met? It was on a shoot.
Yes.
What was it for?
It was on a shoot for uni days.
It was, yes, that's it.
Oh,
that's
is this the one I did? Or was that... No, I did Uni
it was a
Homes.
different one.
This was
Yeah,
way
yeah.
back then.
Completely different brand.
This was way back when.
That was nearly 2 years ago, probably.
I was it literally was nearly 2 years ago. I was 20 pounds heavier. I was I was just starting my career, so it was one of my first ever proper shoots.
Really? And me too, actually, yeah.
And I was like, who? I said, who this boy? I
think it actually was. She was like, who the fuck let this guy in? I actually think that was my first ever professional shoot, you know?
Yeah, me too.
I think it might have been.
It was.
But we were both there acting like we do them every day.
Honestly,
hey, what? Where's my PA? Where's my rider?
I also loved it there. That was a good shoot.
No, but you ate that though. I would have never thought that was your first shoot.
I was shitting myself. I remember before it, I was calling my old management, and I was like, guys, why the fuck have you got me to do this? I don't know how to interview people. What am I going to do? Oh my God. And then I loved it. And you were obviously so easy to just get stuff out of. I'd just say something and you'd run and do the best things ever. So
that's the day we fell in love.
It was. It really was.
Honestly.
I feel like I'm third wheeling at the
moment. But I want to know, Joyce, whereabouts, so I know that you're from London. Whereabouts are you from in London?
So I'm
full address, please.
Full address, postcode.
Mother's maiden name.
So I would say I'm a bit of a traveller actually, because I actually was born in Ireland. I'm an Irish babe.
Really?
Yes, fun fact.
Can you do an Irish jig?
Do you know
I thought you were going to go for accent, but you went for jig.
I can't lie. I went Irish dancing when I was 6 years old.
Really?
I used to do competitions.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
I swear to God.
Is this on camera anywhere?
No, I've never told this story.
Oh.
Fun fact, I did my first Irish dance competition when I was 6 years old. And my mum's of Nigerian heritage, so she doesn't really know the ropes. And obviously the girls wear the dresses and stuff, like the traditional wear. And my mum put me in jeans.
Oh.
My mum put me in jeans, and they actually had like, I went to the Irish dancing competition and they were like, we've got some spare clothes for you. And I wasn't wearing any knickers.
You were Irish dancing.
Yeah.
Puss out.
Puss out in the jeans. Why? Hold on. How did my mum let me go puss out in jeans?
I was going to say, why does the jeans mean that you don't have to wear them? Like,
Why? There's so many questions. Well, I had to pussy out in jeans.
Surely that would give
that
some
would
sort
hurt
of
more.
friction burn.
Yeah,
I know.
That's giving yeast. That's giving
Honestly,
friction.
it's given yeast at 6 years old. But
Yeah.
I had to do the Irish dancing competition in my jeans.
Oh wow.
I didn't place.
Oh wow.
But it was the thought that counts. But
Yeah,
I'm
of
an Irish.
I mean, they
babe.
seem quite restricting to Irish dancing.
Yeah.
I don't know what my mum was thinking. I feel like this was the start of my abandonment issues, because my mum didn't even care enough to put me in knickers. Like why was I not wearing any panties?
That is brilliant. That is so good.
But yeah, Ireland, and then I moved to North London. So I'd say by heart, I'm a North London girly.
Right,
Brinsley
okay.
Park is where I grew up. And then from there, I've just travelled. So I've lived in Luton, I've lived in Bedford, I've lived in Tottenham, and now I'm in East London. But I would like to think I'm a North London girly at heart.
Yeah. You definitely have the accent. You sound like very London.
Yeah.
We love to hear it. So what were you like in school? Have you always been this like outspoken and like, you know, like confident, or like, I find a lot of the time with people that as adults are like that, they typically were more shy, but I feel like you've just always been Madam Joyce.
You know what's interesting? I feel like my confidence came as a coping mechanism. So obviously, I told you I moved around a lot. When I was in primary school, I went to 11 different schools because my mum just left 11 different.
That is a
primary
lot of
schools.
schools.
That is a lot.
Yeah, my mum just used to drag me and drop me and drag me and drop me.
Really?
And obviously, I was always the new girl. And you know, sometimes being the new girl in the middle of semester, everybody's already formed their friendship group. So I had to come into these new spaces, and it was like, listen, Joyce, it's either you make friends or you spend the rest of lunchtime alone for the rest of the time you're here. So I used to come in, and my first thing was like, I just need to be with, like, make friends. I don't want to be by myself. So it was this mechanism of coming in and just like, hi guys, oh my god, be
Like
loud, hi
inserting
guys,
yourself
yeah, be my friend, please.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of carried into my adult years. So I wouldn't say it stemmed from confidence. I said it will stem more from survival.
That's so common. So that's so weird that you say that, because I say the same thing.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, believe it or not, I was extremely homosexual. I don't know. I don't really give off that vibe now, obviously.
That's rubbed off now.
But I had like a very high pitched voice. I literally had a bob. Talk about mums doing disservice to us. I had a bob, like B.O.B. So they called me Bob. Like genuinely. I had a full like bob, a full fringe. I had giant gaps in my teeth, and I had a very high pitched voice. And I would like hang out with the girls. But so you know, the writing was on the wall. But the common thing that I could do was like I could make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
It's like the boys that maybe.
Where's that gone?
Thanks,
You
Joyce.
dead ass.
So like the boys that probably would have like picked on me or like picked on people like me didn't, because I was friends with them, because I was just like being silly all the time. So I get what you mean. Like it kind of like you develop this personality out of survival. And obviously with George, like you are wildly unattractive, so I can only imagine that you had a similar tale. But we won't go into that now.
I'm still just quite a chill person. But if you ask my like parents and stuff and my family, they'd be like, "You've come out your shell so like." Before I started doing TikTok and stuff, I was literally just like a one-word answer kind of guy.
Really? Oh my god.
George, you have a very handsome face.
Thank you.
Sorry, that was.
very
Sorry,
kind of
I'm
you.
looking. I think it's the first time I've ever sat directly to you, and your face is so symmetrical. Sorry,
Thank you very
proceed.
Apart from his eyebrow.
Max is waiting for his now.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm here as well.
Purr. You know you sexy.
Get
you know
her
baby.
out!
You know you're my baby.
Fuck this bitch. Anyway. Wait, what do you think of his eyebrow? His eyebrow's nice, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I love them.
He
What,
fell,
you fell?
whilst you were in the locked-in house.
Yeah,
He fell
seen
over his
it.
line bike drunk.
Fully like.
We need a better story. We need a better story.
He fought a shark.
Yeah, I was out tackling tigers in India.
Give them some pizzazz.
Okay then. Right, so I mean, I've known you for a while now, but where does Madam Joyce come from? Where did that start? Because I've never asked you.
Yeah, so basically, when I was 18, I started doing dominatrix. Now,
Shut up. Oh my god, I got so excited just then. Oh my god.
I was like, I don't know
wild.
whether to believe it. You fully went for it.
I fully believe that. That is my dream.
going.
You would be so good at that, by the way.
I do have a dominatrix era, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Tendencies. Okay.
That's our tendencies.
Yeah,
so, Madame, obviously, I'm of Nigerian and Ghana. I said Nigerian, Ghanaian. I'm Nigerian heritage, and there was a girl that I used to hang out with, and she was Ghanaian. So, like in Nigerian culture, when you call someone young a Madame, it's like someone that acts older than they are.
Oh,
so
okay.
like if you're younger, someone's like, this is Madame. It's like that means it's like, girl, you too
Like
too big for
beyond
your
her
boots.
years,
Yeah,
kind of.
you're too big for your boots. But it's supposed to be it's more of a cheeky word than like, you're so wise.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
girl, sit your young ass down.
Literally, so my mom, if like my little sister would like act up, she'd be like, oh, she's such a madam.
Oh,
yeah, it's
yeah.
an
That sort
English
of
saying
thing.
as well.
Yeah.
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 So we say it a lot where I'm from, and there was a girl that I used to hang out with, and she's like, Madame Joyce, and I'm like, and then one day I was on Twitter and I was like, I want to change my username, and then I just put it to Madame Joyce, and kind of since then it stuck. I do want to change it though.
Oh, really?
I do want to change it because
like it.
I'll get too many slave boys in my DMs like, please, daddy, I want you to.
Oh my god.
Actually, it does give domination.
Yeah, it really does.
It do.
We literally spoke about this last episode that I used to have a pay pig. Do
Do
you know
you
what they
actually?
are?
Yes.
I used to, yeah. Where I would literally message him and be like, you filthy fat fuck, send me 20
my
quid
God,
for a
me
Domino's.
too.
And he would love it and send me 20 quid like that, like instantly.
I used to have one. Did you get it on
you?
Instagram? He was like, cuss my mom, and I was like, your mom is a bitch. Your mom is a slag. And he used to get, yeah, seriously.
Really? They're wild. They love it.
He
Like,
sent me like 300 quid though. How much you make?
oh, I made like, I mean, I had it for like a year and it was whilst I was at uni. So it was little, here we are. No, it was literally like little and often. So like he would just send me like 30 quid for a takeaway like once a week, or like if I was going out, I'd be like, I'm going out with my friends, you filthy fuck. Like, send me money for drinks.
It's so wild that you can do that and get money for it.
That
No,
is
it's great.
quality.
I don't understand the mum one though. How can you listen to someone insulting your mum and be
Mine
like,
actually,
that is-
mine stopped because I insulted his mum.
Oh, really?
So I was like, I went that extra bit because he was like, oh really? He was like, I'll give you 100 quid if like you really go in. So I was like, your mum's a dirty little slag.
I just like the idea of them being there like, go on Max, what else? What else? And they're just going, too far, man.
Yeah,
No,
like
cool.
honestly, he was like loving it when I insulted him and I insulted his mum and he blocked.
Really?
Yeah, so it was over. But we spoke about this last week. But
Honestly,
yeah,
would you go back and do it again?
I mean, it was very fun. Like it's
It
a
was
great
fun.
way. I think if I did it and people didn't know
I
it
feel
was
like
me.
you'd love to do it again.
Oh, it's so fun because you're sat there actually laughing, but like you're messaging the most evil shit in the world.
No, it's evil.
It is-
It's like, how are you loving this?
Yeah, it is wild, but it's very entertaining for all involved.
I was always scared that the voice notes, like, because my voice is very distinctive. If you
You
guys
did voice notes.
I did voice notes. He was like, I want to hear it. It's like, you
Would you be
motherfucking
able to
dirt.
find them?
Please, honestly, I would
my
deny
God.
it. I'll be like, it's AI generated.
That is wild. Oh my god, I love this so much. Right, so you had your career in dominatrix.
Yes, briefly.
But then, when did you start your podcast, Cocktails and Takeaways?
Right, so I started it just as the lockdown started going away. I was working for this. Do you know what? Sorry, Stephanie from Northampton Borough Council, you're a bitch. Sorry. Every time
Fuck
I think about
you.
that job, Northampton Borough Council, I was working in a department. This manager called Stephanie. Oh my days,
Fuck you,
had
Steph.
it was hell. It was so micromanaged, and I would like to say I'm a creative at heart. So I'm sure a lot of like creatives can relate when you're confined to numbers and metrics, and you don't have any creative flair. It was really stunting me. It got really, really depressing. So I was like, do you know what? I want a passion project. So one day I was lying down and God spoke to me and was like, you should make a podcast. And I was like, girl, really?
Said girl to God.
Girl.
That's my bestie. I was like, and he was like, yeah, start the podcast. So I was like, podcast, and then I wasn't really in that space, did my research, and then within like the next week, I had started the show, and it was just, I just wanted to create something.
So did you literally start it like in your bedroom, or did you get a studio?
I got a studio. So
Really?
I worked in Northampton Borough Council, and then I got fired. Fuck you, Stephanie.
She's taking some strays today.
I got fired. So I think I was like maybe 4 months out of a job, and between that time,
Boy. Who is this? This is just driven past. Christmas barge has just gone by.
Someone's
Stephanie,
having
the
a time.
unemployed. She's unemployed now. She's just roaming.
What'd you say about me?
Right, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was it 3 or 4 months? I can't remember how long I was unemployed, but it felt like a long time. And I was on universal credit. I tell you this story a lot. And I knew I wanted to do something fancy. See, I'm one of those people that I can have 50p in my pocket, but you gonna think I'm that girl. Like, you're not gonna see my suffering.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I want to do it to the highest level. So I did a very silly thing. Universal credit at the time was maybe like 250 a month.
Jeez.
And my studio time was like 120 a month. And I used my universal credit for my first studio session.
Wow.
And then just a Best Buy rice and sweet and sour, 50p for sweet and sour sauce for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But I really just, it's not that I believed it was gonna blow instantly, but I guess I just wanted to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, it was a hard time. So from there, it just kind of took off from the jump. And obviously I had my pay pig sometimes.
Not him.
No, I mean,
Just referring to the previous conversation. Thank you very much, Max.
You're welcome, by the way.
Sometimes I'd have my pay pig, you know, just dash me. So that's why I was doing the voice notes. I had that, you fucking bitch. I needed studio money. I had to say what I had to say. Your mama's a whore. I needed studio money. Like, so, and it just kind of built from there. And I'm so honored I can do it full time and get to meet cool people and be in places like this. So, yeah.
Wow. So did it take off quite quickly then? Did you think like, right, I'm going to give myself a month, see what happens? Where were you at in terms of like listenership and stuff like that? How did you get to where your podcast is now? Yeah.
So funny enough, first week, I remember this. I did the first week, I did 1,000 views. And that was really good. I was gassed coming from scratch because I did something that I hope anyone who's a creator should be doing off the jump, was that I was using TikTok. So I used TikTok straight away. And I remember my first ever video was a story time about being groped in Carnival. And I posted it and I didn't think anything of it, went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and I saw the notifications and I said, did I show my pussy by accident? Because why are there so many notifications? And I'm not on social media prior to this. I don't know the world. I don't know the life. I'm just a regular girl in Northampton Borough Council. Fuck you, Stephanie. And I look at the video and it's like on 100k views. Wow. And I was like, my heart was doing do. I'll never forget that. But yeah, it just, from there, I was then posting the stuff on TikTok, short form content, moving it into long form content. And it just picked up from there. So it started with, one.
What's going on outside? The Fast and Furious 11's being filmed.
That's okay. It went from 1k a week to 1k a day, and then it just started going from there. So I think it picked up from the jump. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to think I was quite lucky and blessed. Yes. Word to Nicki Minaj. But yeah, it did start pretty well from the jump, and I did see numbers from the jump.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean, like impressive. We had like a similar thing with. We started like TikTok and stuff around that like 2020 like time, and I think it was just a moment where loads of people were like, do you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to actually do it. Like, we lived through COVID and we're all like, what the fuck else are we doing? Like, life means nothing anymore. So I may as well just do it. Like, I know you did it like a few months after, but like still.
A few months, who's counting?
Okay then. But like, still like went through all that, and it was just like, who even cares? Like, let's just go for it.
Yeah.
So well done, Joyce.
And well done, girl. Well, that's about the fucking you.
What? Thank you. I mean, yeah. What? It took a second to understand what you said, and then I got it, and I was like, I said
it in speed.
And you're also really good friends with the boys, Shits and Gigs, aren't you? How did you meet them, and how did you get such a good working relationship with them?
Do you know what's the same way that I met you? Is the same way I met them. It was just mutual love for each other. You know, there's so many people in this space, and people think that we're all cool and we're all friends. It's like, girl, we colleagues.
Yeah.
We colleagues, but there's a
very much like me and George. Very much.
Very working relationship.
Yeah. Nothing that we've ever said to each other exists unless the camera's rolling, to be honest with you.
I only just found out your name was Max today.
Did you?
From the intro of the podcast. I always switch off at your bit, and then I go, and I'm George Clarke.
Yeah, to me, you're just one of my pay pigs. You dirty little skank. Carry on, Joyce.
You guys are so in love with each other. I love it. But yeah, I very rarely meet people who I'm generally in love with and love their content and we're friends. And Shits and Gigs was one of them. So I met Shits and Gigs at this random Spotify Thought Park day. And then from there, we just kind of organically grew. In terms of our friendship, and we'd see each other in events and they'd be like, yo, what's good? I'm like, oh, these two are sexy, you know, like, what are you saying? Like, you're cool. And then it just grew, and then it started, you know, phone calls, and, you know, me and James would chat, and I kind of started seeing them more as like, oh my God, these are my mentors. These guys are doing things. Because prior to this, I didn't even know who they were.
And they're huge.
They're huge.
Now.
Yeah, they are huge, and I'm so proud of them. But yeah, we grew our friendship, and then one day I came onto their show, and I was telling them that I was gonna sign to a somebody. Yeah. You know, somebody wanted to sign me. Yeah. One of the big collaborate Bumba Clarks wanted to sign the show. And I was telling them, listen, I'm tired. I just did the live show. I remember talking to you about it. I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm wearing 7 different hats. And I just want to be talent, and I just want to roll in, sit down, say what I want to say, and fuck off, innit? So I told them, listen, I'm going to sign to them. And they were like, no, don't do that. I think that you'd work really well with us. We want to like be your production house, essentially. Wow. And I was like, listen, if you want to fuck me, just say it. Like, we don't need to do all of this. Like. But yeah, from there, we started working kind of like in a professional. So basically, yeah, they just, anything that I want, they just kind of buy it for me now. So, yeah.
Wow.
But it's great, and I love them. And just to be able to have men like that who are in this space, who are loved, who are doing well, but also who are so down to earth. Like, when I mean they're the 2 most down to earth men you will ever meet, they are.
Oh, apart from us, of course.
Of course, apart from you guys, they're so humble. They're always willing to help. They're always willing to sacrifice themselves, their times for you. Like, honestly, I really do feel like they're God sent. And I'm really grateful to have them on my team. So yeah.
Someone's looking for a raise.
She's like, and I want a new couch.
Yes. Daddy, can I please have a new MacBook to add to the iPad? Thank you.
And they were at your live show as well, weren't they? Very exciting. Yeah. Did you enjoy doing the live show?
I loved the live show. And again, like, talking about Shits and Gigs character, we weren't even talking about signing. They just did it because they loved me. Yeah. So we're talking about Shits and Gigs who cancelled all their schedule just to be in that space with me. We're talking about Shits and Gigs, like all the fangirls say, like, yeah, it was good. But the live show was amazing. You were there, and thank you so much for being there,
Joyce,
friend.
it was so good. Like, I saw your mum there as well, and instantly I just knew it was your mum. Like, immediately.
She in jeans?
She came in
she was not in jeans, no. She was wearing like the most like extravagant dress. You could tell she was that girl.
It was so camp. Like, she came sequins.
Yes.
Right. I was like, Mum, is it your event or mine? But I love that.
It was so good. And the vibe in the room, like, I think I told you at the time, I was sat next to this guy who was like proper like hardcore, like straight guy, and he was like the sort of guy that like would find you funny but like want to seem cool, and like he wouldn't like audibly laugh.
Yeah.
But he was sat there like yeah, that's proper funny, innit? And I was like, and then it eventually like turned to me, and he was like, because I was like recording you like loads and everything, And I was talking to a Yame next to me.
Yeah.
Just like about like how I met you and stuff. And he was like, oh, like, do you know her then? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, what's she like? Like that. And he was like such a fanboy.
I love.
But he was trying to be so cool about it. And the vibes like in the room were just so great. Everyone was like so, yeah, it was just great. It was great. So
one of the best moments of my life. And I can't wait for you to go on tour and just experience.
I know. And tickets available now. But yeah, no.
I don't know what you said, but I agree.
No, yeah, like, we're so excited.
There is nothing like seeing the people that watch you day in and out in the physical. And obviously, yeah, we like you guys do thousands of numbers, and it doesn't even amount to how many people listen to you that are going to see you physically. Yeah,
it's crazy.
But that love that you're going to receive from the small percentage of your audience who are global, it is going to be one of the best experiences of your life. I cannot wait for you to experience that, because you'll be like, oh my God, like it's hard to contemplate. It's like you can't contemplate the numbers on TikTok, especially Mr. Max that hits 1 million views every other day.
Yeah, I'm really famous.
Every other day, but you can imagine 60, 70, 80, 100,000 people listening to you. You're just like, okay, 100,000, yeah, pro God is good. But you see 2,000 people in a room, for you're going to pass out.
Crazy. We did a live show and there was only like 400 people there. And that felt like...
I don't know where the rest were.
No, it felt mental. So I can't even believe it.
I'm so excited for you. And I'm going to be at the front line. I'm going to be at the front twerking.
I can't wait. So, I mean, you've got to this point in your career. You like basically did it all yourself. You started your own podcast. You're now doing brand deals. You're now doing hosting. You're making big connections in the industry. Then Locked In comes about.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to say yes to that?
Do you know what? And I'm sure you guys can agree. You go through the first year of doing what you're doing and you're like, yeah, brand deals. Oh my God, buy this drink. Oh my God, buy this t-shirt. Oh my God, do this. And then you get to the second year, you're like, fam, how many times am I going to say 10% off using the code Joyce? I'm tired. But how many times?
Yeah.
Like, I started getting so bored of what I was doing, and God is good. I'm so happy. But I wanted to do something that was different to the usual, come and buy this biscuit, come and buy this cupcake, come and buy, or do you know what, we have then we have shoot days where you just, you perform and you fuck off. But I wanted something different. So, and I think after the live show, which was self-produced, I was like, fam, I love this adrenaline rush of doing something different. So when the Locked In conversation came in, I was like, being locked in a house, 2 weeks, no phone. This sounds chaotic, but it's a bit of me.
Had you watched the previous seasons beforehand?
I actually watched half of the previous seasons. I had interviewed a couple of the girls from the last season because everybody was talking about it. So I knew about the show, and it's so funny because I archived the podcast episodes because I was saying I would never do anything like that. I literally say I would never ever do a show like this. Hell no. So I had to just delete it because it's like, girl, like, oops. That wasn't me. But yeah, that's why I decided to do it. I just wanted something different, something fun, something exciting.
Oh, that's so exciting. And what did you think it was going to be like going in versus what was it actually like for you?
Do you know what? I would like to think of myself emotionally strong. I guess it's because I've suffered in life. So I thought, do you know what? 2 weeks, no phone, easy peasy. It's only 2 weeks, 14 days when you really think about it, it's not a lot. I like new people. I'm quite comfortable around meeting new people and getting to know people. So I really thought it was going to be easy breezy, but for what it was, bumper clots.
Was it difficult? Did you find it difficult?
It was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do.
Really?
What do you think was the biggest shock? Was it like not the lack of phone or anything? Is it just being in a house with people for, how long was it? 2 weeks?
2 weeks, almost over 300 hours when we calculated it together. Jeez. I think the most difficult part of it was obviously not having your phone, but I think it's what the phone represents. Like everyone's like, oh, your phone, but your phone is your connection to the people that you love the most. Your comfort blankets, the people that you call to when you have your rant, when you have your moments where you're down, when you just want to fill time because it's boring.
When you just want to turn off.
and when you just want to turn off from the world.
And when you want to turn on.
And when you want to turn on, because girl, I had no action in 2 weeks. in 2 weeks. But yeah, so not being able to have that, and then again, not being able to use technology to switch off or zone out, you're actually left with what you presently have at that time.
Jeez.
Which was very, very hard.
God. And did you and other people break down? Because I bumped into George at Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
And he told me, he was like, I cried like 3 times, like burst into tears, had full mental breakdowns. He was like, everyone was losing it. But like they only showed like little snippets, or like maybe like George crying in response to something that happened, but he'd been like in the diary room thing, like crying for like an hour or something. So what was your experience?
Honestly, me and Ash, I'm going to speak for me, but I cried every other day.
Really?
Obviously, I made it to the final, but the last 4 days, I cried almost every day.
Really?
It was hard. And it's so funny. Me, when you see Ash, she'll tell you, but we were like that's my soul sister. Like I'm so in love with her. And
she's
when
amazing.
she was down, I'd pick her up. Like we'd go to the toilet and she'd cry. And then I'd be like, girl, you've got this. Motivation. That's what we used to do. Motivation. Then she'd come out. She'd be fine. She'd be like, oh my God, guys, yeah. And then I'd start crying. And then she'd be the one to pick me up. So we had this yo-yo relationship of when somebody's down, the other person has to pull them up. When that person's down, the other person has to pull them up. And it was literally so hard. I remember I was having panic attacks in the night.
Really?
Every other night I'd have panic attacks.
Where do you think that came from?
I think it was a couple of things. I think obviously we are not seeing what you guys are seeing, so I think everybody had the fear of how they would be perceived on the outside world. We know how reality TV works, and even if you think you're doing amazing and the best, how people interpret that is definitely different. And then also, I really struggled with a bit of guilt as well, because you've got 40 cameras in the house. Every corner of your being is being filmed. And I used to have, and then your mics, from when you wake up, them mics are on.
Really?
From when you wake up, with still the crust of your eye, those mics are on.
Jeez.
And I felt guilty, because it's like, I want to go home, but I feel guilty because I feel like I look like I'm not grateful for being here.
Because all these people, like there's like so many production people, there's like so many people that have put all the budget into this and everything.
And they're like, we believe in Joyce. We think Joyce is great. We think she's amazing. We think she's talented. And I'm so grateful for them. But having to go through those moments where I'm hearing myself say, guys, I don't want to be here. Guys, this is hard.
Yeah.
I would sit down in the night and be like, you sound so ungrateful. Why are you feeling like this? You should be happy to feel like this. People will be dying for your opportunity. Do you know how many people tried to get on this show this year and they picked you 10? Like, so those were going through my mind. So then I was feeling guilty for how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could ever really process my emotions through the whole thing, because I don't feel like I ever allowed myself to, because I was feeling bad for how I was feeling, but then I was feeling it, but then it was just a horrible cycle.
That is a lot. And I guess, like you said, when you don't have an opportunity to switch off from it, you're just going to be constantly overthinking every interaction, and knowing not only that like you're living it, but that it's going to be shown to hundreds of thousands of people every day. I don't think I could ever do anything like that. Do you think you could?
I don't think, I hate even being on, well, I love being on other people's channels, but I hate knowing that
somebody else is in control.
Yeah, they're in control of the edit, and that they can sort of sort through
change
it.
The narrative.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did they brief you in any way before you went in? Like, what was the sort of lead up to it like?
So before we came in, we all had a brief. No, but when we all come into the house, we all had a brief by one of the producers, and they basically sat us down. I remember we're in the bedroom, and they were like, right, so we're going to be filming 24 hours a day, lunch. Obviously we don't know the times, and so like, oh yeah, we're going to bring in lunch, but you have to cook your own dinner. That's what they said to us at the beginning. Later down the lines, we had to win dinner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they also said that if you want to have sex, like if you guys are feeling frisky or whatever in the single beds, that they gave us condoms, and they said there's condoms in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
And before you get frisky, the two partners have to put their thumbs up to say they've consented to the friskiness.
Oh my God.
And I'm looking around and I'm
a
like,
mood killer.
I'm looking around and I'm looking at all the boys and I'm like, which one
You're
am
going,
I'm thinking about which one of you lot are gonna, like, all the boys were taken, right?
So are they all in relationships?
All the boys were in relationships at the time, and all the girls are single.
Obviously, when you was in there, something happened with you. You got into a bit of a controversy.
Yeah.
So I've got something for you today.
Drugs?
Joyce.
Crumpets?
Joyce, are you triggered, yes or no?
I'm so triggered. I can throw one at you. I can throw one at your ass right now.
As I was leaving my house, I saw them on the side and I was like, I'm taking them. Right. I need to know. So, this Angry Ginge.
Okay.
He is like a commentator on... I'd not seen him before all this locked in stuff. Had you heard about him?
I've never heard of him, never seen him.
Right. I don't know who this man is.
I don't know who this man is.
Okay, so he comes in. Why did he come into the house? Because he's not a contestant, was he?
No.
So I think he came in because, a few months prior, there was the Sidemen charity match. Similar circumstance, all of the comments, get Angry Ginge, get Angry Ginge.
Get him into the match to be a player.
Yeah, then he was a player. I think the same thing happened with Locked In because I saw Danny was in. Danny and Ginge are very, very close. They do similar things. So I think a lot of people were like, get Ginge in, just 'cause he's like on a...
And do they usually do that? Do they usually just get somebody in to come and like ruffle up feathers?
I think they've done it previous years, have someone...
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they did not a similar thing, but Philly obviously came in, Harry came in.
Right, okay. So what are you thinking when you see him come in? Did you know, like, oh, this is what's happening? He's going to come in and, like, try to roast us? Or were you confused?
I don't know who he was. I didn't know who he was or what he'd done. Like I said, I thought that he was part of Fort Asylum team, like a producer or something. Oh, really? So, again, the challenges, it's so funny because that day is actually very fuzzy to me because... I was having such a bad day. Like when I mean fuzzy, I mean the beginning. Like how when I came in, what I was thinking. But I literally thought that this guy, because we have production coming in and out and briefing us and doing things, and the challenge was very much stand in a box. I didn't think anything of him. I didn't know what he was there for. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't say, like, you know how Philly walks in, is like, my name is Philly. Well, my name is Harry. He didn't introduce himself. So I didn't know who he was. He just sat on the bench. I wasn't thinking anything of him. I just thought there's this guy sitting down. Yeah. Maybe production, maybe sound. Okay. Yeah. And, you know, I had my own trail of thought was more, I want to go home. I'm down bad. This is hell. I miss my management. I'm going through it mentally. So I don't think I was so present in the room at that time.
Yeah. And then did he start like roasting you?
I think he then shot Danny in the face with a Nerf gun.
With a Nerf gun. Oh, right. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Danny came out, if I remember right, and then was...
Yeah, so he shot Danny with a Nerf gun and Danny came out of the box.
Yeah.
So he was no longer around the challenge.
Yes, you told me this. So the game is stay within the box.
Stay within the box.
Right, I'm with you. Because I've seen the clips, but I didn't get like the context behind it. So what I saw was him then like saying something to you, and then you two had like a back and forth with each other. What happened there?
So I was talking to Tennessee because I was still fathoming what happened to the budget.
Yeah.
You've told us to stand in a box for as long as possible. We're already down bad. We need stimulation. We weren't in the house, and after the challenges and eating, we're just looking at each other trying to figure out what to do. And because I can't remember what day this was, but it after a while, the excitement of, oh my God, it dies.
Yeah.
And we're like, fam, there's nothing to do in this house except vape and eat. So the challenges were the bit where we were most excited about because it was an activity. The activity today is stand in a box. Come on, guys. We need more.
That is true.
So
you're a bit over it.
Yeah, I'm a bit over it. I'm talking to Tennessee And then he comes, and then he's like, and you keep banging on with your yappa, or something to do with me. I'm talking too much. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then obviously I'm giving him housewife. I'm giving him housewife sass. So I'm like, yeah, and what? Yeah, okay, what?
Yeah.
Are you? And he was like, you're one of the most you're like, I'm the most hated in the house. Everybody out there, nobody likes you. And I'm like, yeah, they love me. Yeah, they love me, honey. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
I guess
who are
what
you?
else are you supposed to say to that?
Thank you.
That's a bit...
He's telling me that everybody hates me in the house. Bearing in mind, his intention, now that I know, is for him to come into the house and provoke me.
Right.
So he started the argument by provoking me.
Yes.
I don't know him, and girls, where I'm from, that content doesn't exist.
Yeah.
We don't have content.
I speak about stuff like this with him because I think it's more like in that whole like sidemen side of the internet where like somebody's known for just like ripping into people, and like even the people that get ripped into, they know that that's what it's about. So it's all kind of like banter and jokes. But I think I would almost come at it from the same position of you. Like, why is this man just coming and insulting me?
And then he was like, yeah, look at you shagging in elevators, real classy. Or he said something. He spoke about me shagging in the lifts. It's a story that I told on the show. So in my mind, I'm like, shit, he knows about that, meaning they've put it in the edit. What are people saying? Like, you need to remember that he's the only one that has access to the outside world.
And that's a big vantage point to have.
It's a big vantage point. So him saying I'm shagging in the lifts and nobody likes me, the only way for me to respond to that is by reaffirming myself and say, honey, no, people love me, honey. Have your 10 minutes. Like, very housewife. Have your 10 minutes, honey. Have your 10 minutes.
If I was you, I'd be thinking, fuck, is everybody calling me a slag? Like, is that one of the only things that people think about me? Like, the fact for him to say that would really get in my head.
Yeah, it did
get
get in my
head. If
head.
you're already overthinking, I'd start to panic and I'd probably do something. Like, I wouldn't even know how I would react. Yeah,
so I reacted in the best way that I could in that situation. And I just gave him a bit of sass, like, have your 10 minutes, like, who are you? I'm the main character, you're the side character. Who are you? Like, just giving it sass as you do, because it's like, this guy's coming for me. Like, I'm not gonna bark him and be like, you fucking this, because that's just not me, but I'm just giving it sass. So I forgot to mention we're talking about the crumpet. So where does the crumpet come in?
So where does the crumpet come in?
The crumpet comes in. So
thanks for the sponsor.
We're going to the back. We're going to when Danny gets shot by the Nerf gun.
Yes. At the beginning. So he comes in, he shoots him in the face.
So Danny is now out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm talking to Tennessee. We're back to me talking to Tennessee. He's going on saying, Joyce, you're doing yappa. And then he walks out.
Oh, he's gone.
So he leaves I don't know why he leaves, but he leaves because I think he's doing other things in the house where he's picking up stuff and things like that.
Right.
I looked to the housemates and I was like, are we really getting insulted by a ginger man with a fringe? Because I was confused as to what was happening.
Yeah, I guess if you don't know who he is, then you're obviously going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's happening?
Danny hears that, walks out and tells him, she's slagging you off or whatever he said. I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
But he's told him what I've said. So he's gone into the kitchen, taken the hard 10 days old crumpets that no one ate, by the way. So they're hard in the motherfucking in the package.
Yeah.
And he's picked it up and he's picked it up and he's lobbed it at me like that. He's gone like this. Well, you can fucking have that, right? And it hits me bang right in the boobies.
Yeah.
Hits me straight in the chest.
Yeah.
And it hurts. And I'm looking at production. I've turned around and I'm looking into a camera and I'm like, this guy has just thrown something at me and it's hurt. And I'm trying so hard not to be heated. But I'm really heated because I don't know you, first of all. I've never met you. There's no content in my space that would have someone throw things at you and call you names and someone's not coming to your house.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So he throws the crumpet at me and then I'm trying to remember what happens here and I want to get it right. Throws the crumpet. I'm talking to the camera to talk to production and then that's when I now go for him. Like, who are you? Have your 10 minutes, whatever. That's how the whole conversation happened.
And what did they show in the show?
So they didn't show the crumpet bit where he throws it at me.
Right.
They didn't show when he mentioned that I'm shagging in the elevators.
Right.
They
did show
me saying, have your 10 minutes, honey, have your 10 minutes,
And how
honey.
do you feel about that?
Do you know what? Again, I feel like no matter what they would have placed in that section, people would have always come for me first. People would have always made me be the aggravator of the situation because I wasn't even shouting. Like, I'm just like, have your 10 minutes, honey, have your 10 minutes. Who are you? People were insinuating that because I thought he was a producer, I was nasty to him. And I said this on my show. I said, it's interesting because these producers are the ones that's paying my bills, honey. I would never be disrespectful to anyone on set because the person who's the sound man for this shoot is the producer for the next shoot and is the assistant producer for the other shoot. And I would never want to be in a situation where I've been rude to someone and one, that person is hurt by that, but two, it ruins opportunities for me and leaves a bad taste because the producers be talking, honey.
Of course.
They know each other. So I would never do that, and I'd never do that to a person that I don't know.
No.
The simple fact is I came for someone that came for me.
Yeah.
And that is as simple as it gets.
And that's fair enough.
So
I
all
think...
this sorry to cut you off.
No, go for it, please. This is we want to hear.
Please cut him off more. I would like that.
All this talk about I'm looking down on people it really hurt me because it's so out of my character and it's so against who I am. And I've felt over the past couple of days and the last couple of since the show ended that I've constantly had my character be questioned. Which made me sad, but I think I'm starting to take it less and less personally and just take it as internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is how the fight started and ended.
Gosh. Well, I just want to say, when you went in and you got announced and like you'd left and everything, I was commenting everywhere that I cannot wait for all of these people to see how hilarious and amazing Joyce is and how kind you are, because I've known you, I've met you so many times.
Yeah.
Like, never once, you always stand out as somebody who is so respectful to, and we've like worked at like the BBC studios together, and like you've left and everybody's had nothing but nice things to say about you or to you. So when I heard that, you know, people were starting to attack you, I was so confused, and then I started to like watch the clips to like gain an understanding of it, and I think I saw it from your point of view as well. And I think it is such a shame that, you know, companies like Foot Asylum would almost put you in that position where they wouldn't come in and be like, right, guys, just so you know, somebody's about to come in case you don't know, he's known for this, this, and this. Like, I think that would actually have made the content even better than just, like, blindsiding these people that are already going through such a stressful time. And I think it's a real shame that they didn't do that. But I'm glad that you've come out of it and you're not going to let it phase you, because it's so easy to feel like everybody hates you.
Yeah.
Everything's raining down on you. And I spoke about it with you on the phone, and I said it's a very loud group of people.
Yeah.
The people that like you are not going to be... I sometimes look at the bloody comments on this bloody podcast and I'm like, everybody hates me. Oh my God.
That's
they just
more
write...
valid,
yeah,
though.
that's true. Yeah, that's fair enough. But they write stuff like, oh my God, would Max shut up? And I'm like, it's my fucking podcast. But of course, nobody is ever going to write, do you know what? I actually like the sound of Max's voice today. Or like, because you're not going to...
Oh God, it's Max fishing for compliments again.
I mean, guys, feel free.
Go on, comment it.
Feel free if you want
God.
to. But you have to remember, and this goes for everybody, that online, it's not real.
Yeah.
It feels real, especially when like it's our job. But it's so like nice to put everything down and look in reality. If the people that you are friends with and that you work with on a daily basis are turning around and going, Joyce, you're a dick, like you're a horrible person, then start to listen. But if it's a lot of people that have never met you, will never meet you, as hard as it is, just try to let it roll off. And I'm glad that you are coming into
eventually,
that.
Eventually I did. And I think, you know, you just can't, especially like you said, this this space on the internet is quite toxic, but it's, do you know what's so crazy? And I haven't shared this before. I think what's sad about the whole thing is that people were attacking me and I was focusing so much on the negative that I actually, it completely slipped my mind that I actually came third. And my
that's a real accomplishment.
Supporters and the bad boys and girls actually voted for me, and they actually supported me in this journey. And I feel like because I was so focused on everything that was happening out there, I really couldn't celebrate that. Yeah. And it was like, upon reflection, it was really sad because I wasn't expecting to even come I just came for the vibes. I just came for the experience. I wasn't my plan wasn't to win. I knew Danny or Casey would have won because they have a amazing support system. I just came for the vibes, but to come third after them,
that is amazing.
It was an amazing achievement that unfortunately I couldn't really give to my supporters because I was so focused on everything that was anti-Joyce. But yeah,
it's hard, but eventually, like everything, it'll just like news passes on, and at the end of the day, you've got so much exposure from it. Your podcast is probably like jumping in listens, views, everything. And I think you were very brave to take such a leap, because I remember being with you and Ash when you were like, Max, you should like get in contact with them to like come on the show. And I was like, guys, I would do so bad. Like, you two are very positive people, and the fact that you were crying like every other day, I could not handle it at all.
Thinking about you, seeing you wake up it's hilarious.
I look like shit in the morning as well. I literally look clapped unless I've had like 3 hours to get ready.
It's hell. And the thing is, they like there are, as soon as you wake up, sometimes they'll call you, go to the storeroom, you've not even brushed your teeth. You know, I've got my bonnet on. Like, the bonnet was my thing every morning. I'd wake up, the bonnet would be on. I'd go into the storeroom with my bonnet, and then I'd have like a bit of, you know, night gunk on the side of my mouth. And I'd be like, yeah, everything. And you could just see that, it was just such a hot mess. And then sometimes I wouldn't wipe my makeup off properly, so you'd have like makeup underneath your eyes.
God.
Like, it's for the people who don't mind looking like a hot mess.
Oh God, right. So with all that said and done then, if you could say one thing to Angry Ginge, what would it be?
Do you know what? One thing I'd say to him is that Angry Ginge is young, he's 21. And I'm so excited for him. I'm so excited for when he grows up and has his rebrand. You know, I think I was watching Jack Mate's podcast, and Jack Mate did quite similar content where he used to berate and he used to just come for people that, to be honest, he said he actually loved. He was talking about KSI and Zoella, and he used to gun for them, but he was like, KSI was my hero. But people didn't want to see him in any other way except angry and malicious. But I feel like after a while, especially like when you're actually innately not that person, or deep down you're not like you're like, they say it's a character, right? I think
that's what I've heard. I've heard that he is nice in real life.
Yeah, so have I.
He is genuinely a lovely bloke.
Yeah. So have I. And I think when I said highs and buys to him, I'm sure he's a nice guy. But if you are innately nice, I think no matter if it's a character or not, I think you will come to the realization one day that the content that you're creating and the fans that you have collated are a lot more damaging. And I know in the next couple of years he's gonna wake up and be like, do you know what? Yeah, this is not making me happy, making other people unhappy. Yeah. And I hope and then we're gonna have like a comedy rebrand or something, which I'm excited for that to be. But for me, I don't think he realizes that the fans that he has are so toxic and so ugly. I have had abuse from every corner of my internet, in my DMs, in my TikTok mentions, in my emails, people comparing me to gorillas, and I look like this footballer and that footballer, and really, really nasty things, and saying I'm this and that, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it is.
And unfortunately, they've all come from him. Yeah. Now, I know he's a good guy, and I'm sure innately he's a good person, he's a nice guy, but unfortunately he's managed to collate some of the most wicked and horrible people across the internet to love him, and they only love him in his angry, aggressive self. So I hope what I would say to him is I can't wait for people to love you and appreciate you for your authentic self and for your nice self, so you don't have to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Because honestly, these men and these young boys do not need a group leader. And I'm sure in his hearts of hearts, Angry Ginge does not want to be the group leader to some of these boys, because they are wicked and they are bad.
Yeah. I think it's like a percentage of any sort of fan base that are like, particularly, I know Ginger's got it, just anyone who's sort of big in that sort of side of the world, they've all got this like a percentage of it. It's like a sort of cult following where they think, because they think you guys are in this massive beef, that they need to protect Ginge or something. When I know for a fact that he wouldn't be that bothered, and I'm sure right now you're not that bothered about him. It's more the...
Yeah, I feel like for me, what I would say is that, you know, what you are is what you attract. I can honestly say, and I don't have the insanity that my fans don't have the insanity that Ginger's supporters do. But what I will say is, if you are putting out content that is violent, angry, centered on hatred, you are going to attract those people.
Yeah. And I see it a lot.
My fans, we love to have a good time. I don't like to call them fans. My supporters, the bad boys and girls, we love to have a good time. We love to shake our bum in the club and sip on cocktails and be hoochie mamas and hoochie daddies. That's what... So you're not going to see my supporters in comments calling people... Like, some of the things I've been called, I've never seen anything like it.
It's so unacceptable.
Because my brand is about having a good time.
Yeah.
I sincerely feel you are what you attract.
Yeah. So
if your content is about that, those are the people you're going to attract. So I'm not trying to hear about the small percentage this. That's your stig, and those are the people that meet you there, and that's what it is.
That makes sense.
That's
I mean, I've definitely had like when I meet my followers and stuff, they are so like similar to me.
They're like you, right?
And it's really interesting. Like I meet them on like nights out, and like you say, and I've been involved in like online discourse and stuff like that. And all that my followers will do is message me to support me. They would never really message the other person or whatever to attack.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with what you're saying. I think there's a lot of like young, impressionable boys that like these people like him don't realize that he has such a hold on them, and he's got himself into a position, whether like he knew it or not, where like he has a lot of responsibility. I think all of us around this table know that we have a platform that comes with a level of responsibility, and we have to be careful about the things that whether it's a brand deal, we have to be careful about the products that we endorse, or whether it's we're giving political opinions, we need to be careful, or like issues that are happening in the world. If we give our opinion on that's going to have some weight to it. And I think that there's a lot of like on that side of the internet, there's a lot of like, oh, it's all just jokes, or it's all just jokes, like whatever. And I'm sure to them it is, and with their peers in the industry, I'm sure it's all hilarious and it's jokes, and there's no like real malice there, despite the words that are coming out of their mouth. But like you said, unfortunately, there's like a big group of their followers that take it very seriously, and to them it's a big deal. So I think we can all out there just learn to maybe be a little bit nicer and take things less seriously, because at the end of the day you were put onto what is pretty much a reality show, and you all signed up to have a good time, to expand your following, to get your name out there. And I think it's a real shame that you can have all these amazing times that I'm sure you had, but this is the main thing that people are focusing on. So hopefully we can squash that and focus on the fact that you came in third place. There were people in there with huge followings, like way bigger than
didn't Watson have like 7 mil or something?
There you go, exactly. And like you're there in third place. So, and like we said, you started it 3 years ago when you were on Universal Credit. So you should be insanely proud of yourself.
I'm so proud of my supporters and everyone that listens to me. And we might not have the numbers, but we definitely have the love. Like honestly, every time I see. Sorry, I'm a lip gloss babe. I was like, they're not shiny. Every time I meet the people that watch my show and support my content, it's like, girl, we motherfucking besties, bitch. Like they are so much like me.
Me too.
So I'm so happy that that I have a community strong enough that the big boys and girls that have more following, they don't match the tribe. Do you know what I mean? And I love that, and I'm happy for the experience and the journey. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And when all is said and done with Locked In, do you regret it, or would you do it again?
I feel like it's too fresh to say. I feel like I'm still getting over the cross line. Do I regret it? I don't think I will regret it in 2 months. I think that this has been so character building for me. And you know, it is completely everything I didn't want. It has been hard. But will I do it again? For a fact, hell no. That one for a fact, hell no.
Not even if they said like you can pick your group of people that you want to go in there with.
Hell no. Me and Max, we are besties, right? If we go into that house together, we're gonna see a side to each other that we don't even know what is gonna go. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
The people in that house know who the fuck I am because everybody is there. Everybody is there naked and exposed and under high pressure. I'm sure you guys you see each other in your best light, you know, it's like, yeah, friends, oh my god, yeah, let's go for drinks, cocktails, yeah, beers, yeah, whatever you guys drink. But like when it's your downtime, when it's your time where you're low, those are the people that know you, and everybody got to experience that with each other in the house to be like, this is me at my highest and this is me at my lowest. So it was hard.
It does seem like it's a very like emotionally taxing experience. Like I said, I bumped into George, like I get along with him really well. I think he's so lovely. We like always, like every time I see him we have a great time, but he literally was like, Max, I'm so happy to see you. And then he was like, at the end, he was like, I love you. And I was like, someone's been through emotional trauma, or they're very drunk, probably both. Yeah. But like, it seems like a lot. Do you feel like Foot Asylum have a responsibility to look after you all after you've been through this thing? Or do you feel like it's a sort of thing of, I signed up for it, it is what it is? I'll
be honest, I have a great relationship with Foot Asylum. And I feel like they did what they could do. I feel like in terms of being in the house, we did have welfare officers. Yeah. We did have, I especially, because I've been through it. I got bitten by a dog. I had the whole coming in, coming out. So I think I had the most craziest ride, and I made good friends with one of the producers there. And she was absolutely amazing, woman of color, like as much to home as I possibly could have had, but also no contact with the outside world. I think they had a responsibility to make sure that we were okay, but they also had a responsibility to put on a good show for the audience. So there was two sides to it. Yes, we had to be okay, but also Foot Asylum is a business and they had to make money and they had to get the views. So you have those two things. But for me, I felt like Foot Asylum did what they could have done in terms of the situation. The only thing that they could have done for me that would have made this happy is me fucking off. Let me go home. Really? And that couldn't have happened. You know what I mean? Or let me contact the outside world. I want to talk to my manager. I want to talk to my sisters, which again couldn't be done because it ruins the show. So I feel like they did what they could, but also we need to remember this is for you guys' entertainment. People thrive off a villain and they thrive off a hero and they thrive off their favorite and they thrive off the uncle of the house, and that's just how it works. People, but then you also have the human side where it's like, no, these are actually people in the house and not just YouTube show people, you know. So it's a bit of a balance of the two.
God, it's difficult. I mean, I spoke to someone who got evicted from Big Brother, Hallie from Big Brother. You obviously missed it because you've been in, been in your own Big Brother. But she said like she couldn't believe when she came out, like the different like characters that people are being shown as. Because obviously in the house, like maybe there's like one little exchange that seems like a bit like argumentative or whatever, but then they all just get on with it, move on, everyone gets on with their day. But then obviously to the viewers, that is like a huge thing that nobody from within is really taken into consideration. I feel like a couple of things like that in the house happened. I feel like again it's for the drama. You know, they have to dramatize it, otherwise people wouldn't watch.
Let's be honest. Like as much as we as much as we like to think, especially UK people, that we're great, we're good people, we're really not. We love the chaos, we love the beef. Let's cut the crap. If the whole episode was, oh, we love you, will you be my boyfriend? Yes. You guys ain't fucking watching.
No.
We want the chaos, we want the drama, we want people screaming at each other, but we're gonna sit there in our high conservative horse and be like, oh my God, why did you do that? But you're lapping it. And for Asylum and Big Brother, and everybody knows that that's what people get viewing now, at the expense of us as talent, unfortunately. But again, people love to hate people. I mean, we had so many incredible people on this show, but the person who's being spoken the most about, and whose people are in the comments are about, and people who are making TikToks and this, is the person that was the most hated, which unfortunately this season was me. So as much as like, it's like, yeah, girl, what was that motherfucker saying?
I don't know. I think you were making a great point. I was just like,
as much as we,
it makes me really sad though. I got a bit emotional then when you said that, because it's sad that it's played out like that, because I have met so many people in this industry that are actually not nice people, and you are an actually nice person, and it really upsets me that that is what was chosen to be put out there, and that's all that was kind of chosen to be put out there. Because like we were talking about Ash earlier, Ash is genuinely one of the most nice, kind, hilarious people I've ever met, and she would not be friends with you if you were not the same.
She's amazing, honestly. She is absolutely fantastic, and I love her to death. But I think, I don't know, there's a lot to ponder on, there's a lot to unpack, that unfortunately I just don't feel like this is the right moment for us, Max. But we know what the fuck it is, friend. And that's how I'm gonna leave it. But like I said, I am focusing on the people that love me and the people who have been bringing me.
I'm glad you are.
People like you, Max. You're one of the only people in the industry that has called me to check on me and see if I'm okay.
Really?
And for that, I appreciate you and I love you, because I think when things like this happen, you know, people jump on the bandwagon, and people, you know, they move as the wind moves. And as much as this has been sad, I've learned so much about myself, this space that I can take from and only go stronger, so that when the next giant comes, I can also conquer that as well. And that's what it is, friends.
I'm really proud of you. Well done. Right, okay, last question,
go on.
I'm locked in. If you could change one thing, any specific moment, what would it be?
Any specific moment that
Going
I would
in.
change. Girl. One specific moment that I would change, that was shown. Honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I feel like for me, sincerely, I came there with the intention to be myself. Everything you've seen is me. Some of it has been misconstrued and misinterpreted, but all I came there to do is be authentically myself. And it was hard, because when you are yourself, the fear of getting judged and the fear of people not liking you and stuff is hard, because it's like, I'm not acting where I can put on this wall and just, you know, it's like, that's not me anyways. It's like, this is me. I'm opening up to you. I'm being real to you. So it's hard, but I wouldn't change anything. I think I watched it back, and I felt like I showed myself in the best way. I felt like when I was filming, I was energetic, charismatic. I loved everybody in the house. I showed them love. I supported everybody. I was there for them. And that is the most I could have done. I felt like I gave every last of me to that show. So I wouldn't change it for the world, no.
Good then, no regrets.
No regrets,
That's
honey.
good then. And like you said, in a few months, you'll be able to look back on it and be like, do you know what, that was horrible, but at least I got through it, and here I am, I'm better for it. Right, okay, well, I have a game before we get into the reason why you're here, because obviously this is a job interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
As all job interviews
the
go,
role?
just
What's
a very
the role, we'll get to that later, okay.
feels like counsellor at this point.
Yeah, our chief in terms of hiring, the woman who, like, so she's called Steph. I think you used to work with her. I'm not sure. Stephanie, I'm not sure. Anyway, no, but we're gonna play one last game where I'm just gonna read out different names of people from the locked-in house, and I just want you to say the first word that comes to your mind about them.
Okay.
Okay, right. First one.
Go on.
Casey.
Cute.
Cute. Okay, then. I feel like she did come across as very cute.
Super cute, super sweet.
She seems very lovely. George.
Short.
That was locked and loaded, ready to
That
go.
was locked and loaded. He is short. Short but mighty.
Handsome man, short man.
Yeah. Angry Ginge.
Ginger.
Fair enough. Do you know what? It says factual. It says it in the name.
Not incorrect.
Max Kadar. Is that how you say his last name? Kadar.
Max Kadar.
Did you know who he was before?
I did know who.
Because I was I watched the clip of him, and Ash was
very
kind of
interesting clip, I'll be honest.
Well, Ash was kind of like me in that situation of I don't really know what he's about.
Yeah.
So I would have been deeply confused in that situation.
Yeah. I feel like Danny understood what he's about, because I said this to you. I don't know if you've seen the clip. I think Danny said he understood what he's about, but still was like, the stuff he's saying isn't actually that funny, so it was just all a bit awkward.
Yeah, it was quite awkward, I'll be honest. Like, yeah, it was awkward. But I would say for some reason with Max, I associate him with throat.
Whoa! You said said it had been 2 weeks, but I didn't think it was getting to.
Your throat. I don't know. If there's
no, it's because of his voice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just that I just see.
Does he have like a condition, or is it like that's just his voice that he was born
I have no idea.
I don't know.
That's just his voice, I think.
Oh, right, okay, then fair enough. I mean, everyone has a different voice. Good for you, Max. Also, great first name. Right, okay, next. Danny.
Hands.
He's very handsy.
What does that mean?
Like,
touchy?
He'll come up to you and be like,
oh.
Danny's got really big hands.
Big hands?
Yeah, Danny's got really nice firm hands. Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Oh, you were on about the size of the hands, not the fact that he's just.
I mean, he is very handsy. Like he is a
and you liked it, didn't you?
He is. He is a hugger. He is a personal touch girly. So yeah, I would say hands.
Right. Okay. Foo.
Oh, what was I gonna say? What does he say? What does he say all the time? It was in my head. Do you get it? Do you get it? Yeah.
Just make that one word. Just jaget it.
Do you get it? Yeah. Foo. Do you get it?
Right. And last but definitely not least, Ash.
Sister. That's my sister. Aww. That is my sister. That is my sister.
She
if
is
anyone
so
comes
lovely.
for Ash, I'm coming for you.
She's just so amazing, isn't she?
Honestly, I've met Ash before. She's been on my show, and I think I got to know her then as talent. Like, you're amazing at what you do. You're energetic. You're live. Like, you're sick. In the house, I got to know her. I got to know Ash the person. What an incredible human being. Like, I don't know what I would have done in that house without her. Oh. She was my rock. She was my crutch when my legs were destroyed. Like, she was the most amazing person. So yeah, Ash, sister for life, man.
I'm so glad that you had each other. She is just amazing.
She seems to have so much energy.
Oh, she is.
Like,
honestly,
I don't know
like,
where she gets it from.
But she works out like she's like the healthiest. I bet that if you dissected her body, it would just be like health.
Yeah,
she would have like the most healthy heart, lungs, maybe not lungs, but like everything. Like, she is just, every morning she wakes up and she's literally Mrs. Incredible. Like, she is. She's wild. And she'll be the last one out on a night out. The first night, so I met Ash, I'd met her briefly at the Brit Awards, I think, but like very briefly got to speak to her. And then we found out we were both going to Texas with each other on a trip. The first night I met Ash, obviously you've met her, she's tiny. She's literally like...
she's like 4'11",
yeah,
4'10",
she's such like a small like woman.
Yeah.
And we all go out, we're drinking for hours on end. Obviously it's a bunch of influencers we've just met, so you feel like, oh, I'll have a bit more of a drink. I'm in Texas, woo. She got fucked beyond words, and she can usually handle her alcohol quite well, but obviously she was drinking probably the same, if not more than me, and she's like half my size, so it's gonna hit her at some point. We're in the taxi home. She's like, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, oh no. What's happening here? We have to pull it over. Picture this. She's in cowboy boots. Like, I think she was in a dress. Her entire ass is out. She's squatted, tits perky, on the side of an American road outside the Uber. She's throwing up. Kiara King's holding her hair back. She's throwing up. And I go, Ash, you okay? She goes, love you. She literally just goes,
so Ash.
love you. And then proceeds to vomit everywhere.
Oh my God, I love it.
So iconic in every meaning of the word.
She is a walking, talking meme,
She
icon,
is.
drama.
She
queen.
so is.
She
Honestly,
iconic.
she's going far.
1000%.
But yeah.
1000%.
Right, well, Joyce, you've only gone and smashed your interview.
I got the
done.
Well, let's not jump to conclusions
Yeah,
here.
now you get to do a trial shift.
Okay.
The shock.
She's triggered. She's triggered. She's like, Stephanie,
Yeah,
where are you?
exactly.
Where are you? So at the Useless Hotline, we get sent in dilemmas from our very troubled audience.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go for lovely, and I was gonna say no, actually, Max.
Yeah. So basically, we're gonna see how you fare with advice giving.
Talk to me.
You're okay. Is this an audio or a print?
Print.
Okay, well, if you could just go to your computer, please, and send it to print.
Okay.
That would be amazing. Thank you. Oh, that was
Nice.
good.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, I've got the nails.
Yeah, write it down.
Very
She's
good.
very good at typing.
Write it down. She has nails.
And she has nails.
Ugly.
Brilliant.
Slap.
Okay.
We have got a reference here from, what's that name? Stephanie.
Stephanie, yeah. She said, loud
Not
bitch.
glowing.
Yeah.
Oh my
right,
God,
so
this
that-
is absolutely terrifying.
Oh no, has it come out really?
What's happening?
Right, I can show you the photo that's... right.
What's happening? Do you want Joyce to read it out? Or do you want you to read it out?
no,
Do they know it's me or could be anyone?
Well, it's for, they usually write it in for me and George, but like it can apply to anything.
That is absolutely terrifying.
Okay.
I don't know if
What is
Max
that?
is...
Is that me?
I've got the photo on my phone.
Is that
ready to
me?
go. I don't know what you're on about.
That is me. Fuck. Right, come on.
Thank you very much for this. Sending this is.
Oh.
This is.
Mm.
Hello, Gax and Mjorge.
Nice.
Wow, comedy.
I have a slight dilemma.
Mm.
So basically, I'd say all my life I've been a 3 out of 10, maybe 4 out of 10 with makeup and a dress on, but never passed a 5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Recently, a boy asked me to be his girlfriend. I fancied the boy since I was 14 and I am now 20. Wow. He's definitely a solid 10 out of 10. Everyone constantly says I'm punching and I don't deserve him, but I want to know your guys' opinions on this. I have attached a photo of him and I would like you to rate him.
So that's him.
Okay, it's given One Direction.
Wait, what? Is this me?
It's given
What's
One
happening? Let me
Direction.
see.
No, I don't
It's
think so.
given
It looks like some...
Neil from One Direction.
Did you say Neil from One Direction?
Yeah, Neil from One Direction
Neil?
with the
You think he's
swoop.
called Neil? Niall.
Niall. It's Neil.
Neil from the... Right, okay. Okay, so this
Okay.
person thinks that they're funny is what's
That's-
happening.
Okay.
That's a nice little boy, isn't it?
Do you want to know the backstory for this picture? So I was going to my first ever house party in
Oh,
high
I thought you
school.
were going to say Claire Balding cosplay event.
I thought you were going to say One Direction concert. I'm like, that.
No, I was going to...
Question of sport.
I was going to... I was going to commentate. No, I was going to my first ever house party.
Yeah.
And that day I went to Top Man, R.I.P. And
And
I
now
was
he
like,
just tops man.
yeah, I do. Hey,
That was a
oh
fan.
my God. And I was shitting myself. I was so nervous, but I was like, oh my God, all the cool people, I like upload like 6 selfies of themselves. I was like, I need a tripod or something. I took all of the chairs from the dining room, built a tripod out of the chairs, stacked them all up on top of each other, and then paused there for ages. Then my sister sent it to all of my family after I uploaded it to Facebook, again, RIP, and took the piss out of me, and I was devastated.
But you look like
I
someone's
think you
just
look
accused
super
you of
cute.
doing a fart.
I think I was trying to do like a One Direction, like half
You do
smile
look a bit
moment.
shell-shocked.
So, oh shit, you smelt that.
I think I was trying to be like One Direction. And do you know, fun fact about that exact, what do you call it, top that I'm
Oi.
wearing? Everybody calls that the gay top because in like that era, every person who grew up to be gay owned that top and
Do you know what
took loads
I
of
was
pics
about
in
to
it.
say? Do you know what? I think I owned that top earlier, and I kept it
Makes
suppressed.
sense. There we go. Right. Okay. So, what advice would you have, Joyce, for this person who, apparently that picture is just so out of their league?
Oh, by the way, Max, they said, Max, I'm from Preston near Darwin. Give me a bell next time you're home. And George, I defo shag. I agree, huh?
Right, fun fact. I'm just going to pretend that somebody at least wants to fuck me here. Fun fact about Preston.
I'll give you some top, man.
When I first got with my boyfriend now, Andrew, who you've all met, somebody messaged him and accused me of sleeping with them, and they lived in Preston. So every time Preston gets brought up now, me and Andrew are like, oh, my lover's from there. And so I'm a little bit triggered. But maybe it's you. Maybe you are the person.
What would your advice be, Max?
My advice would be,
I'd say,
they are out of your league. They're so attractive. You will never be on their level, so just stop trying.
I was going to go for the opposite. They've quite flattered the person there, calling them a solid 10-10.
Wow.
Maybe 3?
I think...
Hey, they match up. They're a 3.
Yeah, they're a 3 and I'm a 10. Absolutely. Next, let's move on. Do we have another one, Callum?
We do.
We have one more.
We've got another one.
Right, that was
type it in.
Bullying. All right, I'll send this one. I'll put the crumpets to the side.
Whoa, sorry. PTSD.
I actually might need to eat one of them crumpets. I'm really hungry. And
just out there. Have you seen that bloke on TikTok that is a like a bodybuilder guy? I think his name's George Clarke. No, he does like cheat days where he eats like 24 crumpets for breakfast.
Really?
That's crazy.
Mental.
I would love that. That sounds amazing.
I hate crumpets.
Right, this printer is on the fritz. It's not working. Should we just read
on
it
the
off
fritz?
phone?
I reckon I got this.
Are you sure?
Hello, Max and George.
Hi.
I have an issue.
And Joyce.
Sorry.
And
I'm
Joyce.
sorry.
Oh, she's opening her vape.
The Lost Mary. Don't
Hello, Max, George, and Joyce.
Ah.
I have an issue. Recently, when I've been drinking, I've been injuring myself a lot. The other week, I fell off of a bar stool, giving myself a concussion, a sprained shoulder, and back. This weekend, I fell off of another bar stool and broke 3 of my ribs. I want to stop drinking because clearly drunk me has no coordination, but I feel awkward being around other people drinking when I'm not. What should I do? P.S. George, I want...
No.
I don't know what that actually says. Luckily, you
George,
just can't actually read it.
I think it says, George, I want to mount you like a stool.
Mount you like a stool, apparently it says. George, I want to mount you like a stool.
What type
The
of...
audacity of these people,
are we
Joyce, honestly,
talking-
they act like I don't
The
exist.
audacity.
Are we
I'm
talking
sat
bar
here.
stool or like a sample?
I'm sat here week after week, and this man is constantly...
And I've
he's
ignored
so
you this whole
hot.
time.
He's so... Oh, George, can I mount you? George, can I ride your face?
Why would anyone want to mount George? Like,
Can someone ride my face, please?
I
Shotgun.
would never want to ride George's. Huh?
Oh my God.
Excuse me?
See, even my own guests are doing it. Right, okay.
Why would anyone want to?
And then it's signed off from Madame Joyce. That's that's crazy.
I forgot to use my Finsta.
Stephanie, 1, 2, 3.
Bloody hell.
I'm sweating my tits off.
I forgot you sat there in an hoodie.
Oh, I'm
Sorry,
so hot.
what is on your
I'm with
t-shirt?
Kylie Minogue. Why does no one want to sleep with me? What? I'm so attractive.
Takes his
I'm so
hoodie off.
cool. I'm so
Fucking
attractive.
hell.
What? Right, okay.
Advice.
What advice would you give? Do you,
Firstly,
I mean,
any drunken injuries anyone's got?
have you ever had a drunken injury?
There's one time I woke up in the bath. Actually, no. Though I was in year 8. I don't know what I was doing. You know, year 8 drinking was like obviously in the park, outside on
like
the road,
doing shots
Nice.
for fun.
Yeah, it was vodka lemon to be precise.
Oh.
And I don't know why I walked towards this like fence to hold on for stability because I was so fucked. But then I ended up falling into the fence and hitting my lip on the point of the fence, and I woke up with a really, really swollen, even more swollen than now, more swollen lip. It was so chaotic. But yeah, I have several drunken, chaotic
I'm really gonna
moments.
go for like
Yeah.
the hot fuzz thing, you know, when the church steeple goes
Oh my
through
God.
the...
No,
Not
That's
quite
not
that bad.
good.
That
no,
is-
not quite that bad.
The worst I've had was I found out I was allergic to cats at
What an injury.
at a house party in year
But you
9.
love pussy.
I do, yeah. Watch out, ladies.
Do you know what's so bad? You remind me of someone that in year 8 that they made me. We all got really drunk, and then they made me lick whipped cream off their stomach, and I was sick.
It makes me do this all the time.
Yeah, what are the chances? We always... Wait,
Whose
we
go
did
is
it
it-
with Gravy
whose go
the
is
other
it
day.
tonight?
I don't know. We'll find out soon. We've never been sick.
We do a little
though.
spin wheel of just different condiments.
Different
Yeah, we
condiments and
do.
liquids.
We do. We love it.
Yeah.
Different bodily liquids
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh,
Anyway.
Jesus.
God,
No,
I
so
love strawberry jam Saturdays. There.
So I was at this house party, and this girl specifically said her cat had just had kittens, so she'd locked them all in a room, so don't go in. So of course I went in by myself, sat there drunk as anything with all these kittens like on my face, like loving life, like stroking them all.
You are
having the
making these
best
jokes
time.
far too easy right now.
And then I come out, and everyone's like, Max, what the fuck have you done? My eyes had swollen up, both of them, and started to close. And I was really panicky because I didn't want to tell my mum. So I just stayed at the party, and they said that you have to apparently put tea bags on your eyes. So I led on the floor of the kitchen with tea bags on my eyes.
These jokes are coming. Come on, mate. You're
They
allergic.
teabagged
You're
me.
allergic to pussy, and to cure it, someone had to teabag you. Are you seriously saying this right now? Honestly.
Oh my god, I didn't follow my chat.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Kylie.
That was a very quick-witted joke.
It was.
It was almost sexy. No, it was sexy.
Oh my god, right. I feel like, guys, we've offered all that we can to these useless people, and we've got to know Joyce. So, George, what do you think? Has she got the job?
She's been saying some things recently that have really been. Yeah, no, I think that's a job. Correct. Yes, job.
Oh, George forgot how to speak. I'm just going to say, yeah, you've got the job, baby.
Really? Oh,
You have.
fabulous. Oh, yeah.
Well done. We might sack you just like Stephanie did after we get the full report.
Said it.
But we'll see. Yeah. And I might have to teabag you.
That's what I thought you meant by might sack her.
So you're going to teabag me, George. What are you going to do?
I'm on coffees tomorrow, I think.
Oh my God, Joyce, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much
You've
for
been
having
amazing.
me.
I hope that people have really got to know more about you. And is there anything that you want to shout out whilst you're here?
Shout out to my supporters. Shout out to the useless people them out there listening to this as well.
That's what we call them. The useless
And
people then.
guys, if you haven't bought your fucking tickets for the show, make
Yes.
sure you do that. Don't be crazy.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I'm
Also,
gonna be there, so make sure you're there as well.
You bet, baby. Also, cocktails and takeaways. When can we expect episodes? How often do they come out?
They come out every Wednesday on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and yeah, every Wednesday.
Woo!
At 7 o'clock, sometimes 8, depending on the export. So just watch out for that.
See
Yeah.
you there. And until next time.
Make sure you keep your crumpets in a cool, dry place and
eat
eat them on time.
Eat them on
Eat them on
time
time.
before the best before day. In fact, I might eat one right now.
Purr.
Bye.
Bye.